First things first, I don't know what to do with this camera. I don't know if it's better to clip it or is it better to just hold it. Anyway, I'm just gonna hold it for today. Today's video. Hello. Today's video is not really that important. I just wanted to establish for myself why I need to start a YouTube channel. Um, I have my book. I've decided I'm going to keep notes and stuff. There's a quote by Arthur Ashe, and the quote is, "Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can." And I've been working on myself, in personal development for probably the past 8 years, and so I feel like I know myself really, really well. But I've sort of hit a bit of a wall where I where I am a little bit stuck. So I really want to use this YouTube channel to help myself reconnect with myself. And really, even if nobody watches these videos, which I do hope that at least one person is, that I can connect with other people that are in the same space as me. So, point number one, mostly for myself. Okay, tick. Point number two, I'm stuck and I don't want to be stagnant anymore. That's exactly it. Um, you know, I don't know if it's a midlife crisis or existential crisis or just not having enough going on in my life. I don't really know, but I do feel stagnant and I'm not growing enough in aspects that I really want to, and I just feel like you see so many people on social media. I just actually, well, let me start from the beginning. My birthday is in March, and I turned 35. And every year since I turned 30, I'm just like, what am I doing with my life? Is this enough? Is this what I want? Etc. Etc. And this year for March, I was like, I need a break from social media. So I deleted everything, and I wasn't on anything. And on the one hand, I really missed it because I enjoy the community that I've maybe not so much community, but like the algorithm is like really suited to me. I enjoy watching the types of videos I watch. I enjoy connecting with the people that I connect with on social media. But I play the comparison game so much. Um, sorry, I don't know if you heard that. I just, you know, you play the, oh well, that person has more than I have, and that person is my age or younger and has so much more going for them than I do. And you do that, and then you're like, well, fuck, if what am I doing with my life? And then it starts the downward spiral of you know what am I doing with my life? So I just don't want to be stagnant anymore. And I think that's such an important word, stagnant. So, if you don't, I mean, I'm pretty sure, but in case you don't, water is such an important aspect of life, and water is what um, breathes like freshness in a river. Obviously, Aurelia. But what I'm saying is that when the water is always flowing, and water can go faster or slower, but water also gets trapped in certain areas when there's like rocks or pools or whatever, and water sort of becomes stagnant, and that's where bacteria grows, and that's where like you get all the weird, in South African you would say hojos. So you get all these like hojos and bugs and stuff, and that's what makes water unsanitary and unhealthy, and that's what's happening. I'm getting like hojos and bugs, and becoming more unsanitary in my mind, and I already have problems with my mental health to begin with, and I'm tired of the fluctuating, and I don't want to spend another year not regretting but also not feeling fulfilled. Do you know what I mean? So point number two, tick. Point number three, I'm hoping to connect with others who feel the same. My husband and I moved to Spain from South Africa, and we love it here. And in terms of our job, like we love teaching English, and it's a really big aspect of who we are. Teaching, we are teachers, but in the industry, a lot of people come and go. So you make friends and then they disappear, and not all friendships last the test of time. A lot of people are out of sight, out of mind, which is fine. There's the expression, You make friends for, or people come into your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And not all friendships are lifetimes. And I can understand and respect that. But it does, and don't get me wrong, we have lots of Spanish friends as well. But I don't have my people. You know what I mean? My people are scattered across the world because they all went back to wherever they came from. One's in Germany, one's in America, a lot are in South Africa. One or two in England. Like, it's just they've scattered, and I just don't have anyone with me. And I'm hoping that this will help fulfill that. It's not a gap because I have good friends, but there's not everybody understands what you're going through, and I feel like I'm losing. I just don't have that connection with people that are going like, Aurelia, I totally understand how you feel. And it's also sometimes you don't want to talk to people that you know about the shit that you're going through. Sometimes they're like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry and I'm totally here for you. But, I just bought a house. So I'm kind of busy with that. And you're like, oh, well, I'm the opposite and I'm struggling with that. It's a hard thing to connect with people. So hopefully connect with people. Tick. The next point. What's that? Point number 4. When I was younger, I used to be a lot more vocal, and I think that's a big thing when in your 20s, you are such a strong version of yourself, and you're there to conquer the world, and you can save the world, and, do your bit. And I became depressed when I turned 29, 30, and I really struggled with it. And during that time, I lost my voice, and I used to love writing, and I used to have a blog and connect with people through my writing. And people always said, like, we love listening to what you have to say. And I was just like, now I'm like, why? Why? Like, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything in my life. I feel like everyone's ahead of me, and I know that's not the truth. And yes, many people, especially people sharing on the internet, are probably feeling a little bit more like me than the other way around. But man, like, I do want to just try and find my voice. I have been doing the personal development thing for a long time. I have my coaching certificate. I was helping people for a long time before I went into that mental dip. And now I just feel like it's not like I'm like, listen to me, somebody listen to it. That's what I'm saying. But like, I used to say things and people used to connect with that. And I feel like I'm not connecting with anybody anymore. And it's making me doubt myself. So I'm really hoping that this gives me that confidence to be like, this is who I am. This is what I have to say. And it has value. And that's a big thing that I've been struggling with, is that self-worth. I don't know if I value myself anymore. And that's such a hard question to deal with. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve with this. Another point I wrote down is I'm trying to find my way back to myself. Well, in many ways, I found myself over the years, especially with, I do a lot of journaling, and I'm going to share a lot of my journaling on here. And I did a proper full certification in consciousness coaching, which is one type of like life coaching. And, the whole like introspective thing. I have a lot of experience in some regard. But in other ways, I completely lost my way in terms of I've put on weight, and I just have been struggling to lose it. And I know that my emotional eating is a huge factor of me trying to deal with stuff. And I'm tired of the emotional eating, and I'm tired of dealing with, if I'm happy, I eat, and I'm sad, I eat, and when I'm stressed, I eat, and when I'm angry, I eat. So I'm done with that, and I'm trying to find my way back, not just mentally, but physically and emotionally as well. Like, I want it to be the full package, Aurelia in every aspect of her being. And that brings me into my next point, which is intentional being. Now, my social media and my company, when I was running my coaching business, which I'll bring up in the future as well. Hello, this is Gracie, who wants attention. Intentional being intentional, what that means and how to deal with it. And in many ways, I am intentional. I'm very focused on my journaling, and I'm very focused on my bullet journaling. And don't show the people your bum, please. Can you move, please? Mummy's busy. But I'm not intentional in other ways, like my eating. So intentional Aurelia is really meant to just like bring intention to the areas where I don't currently have presence. Um, so I have so much hope. Hope is too strong a word because I want to do this whether it's successful or not. Um, and I'm doing it for myself, not for other people. But I want to really connect with that intentionalism and mindfulness. And spirituality is too strong a word because I've lost that aspect of myself as well. But I need to connect to something bigger than myself. And in 2025, what's what's really bigger than YouTube, and the internet. So here's hoping. Okay, the next points I have, not many left. I think there's one or two left. Is to force myself to prioritize healthy habits. Yes. Um, I can talk the talk, but I can't always walk the walk. And I know what I'm supposed to do, and then I'll end up not doing it because I don't have either my willpower isn't strong enough, or purely because in many aspects I feel a little bit alone, and I've never really admitted that to myself. So don't get me wrong, I have the best husband. In many ways, like my life, I'm not going to say my life sucks because I'm very grateful and privileged in many ways. And in one of those ways is a fantastic husband. He's very supportive. But when I am feeling low or feeling down or feeling stressed or feeling whatever, I tend to shut out the world and hermit myself away from everyone. And so I do feel very alone, and it's very much self-inflicted. Great. What does that mean for me? I don't want to reach 40. This is the thing. This is the fear. I don't want to reach 40 and be like, what have I been doing for the past 20 years? From 20 to 40, what have I been doing? I don't have kids. I don't think I want to have kids. But if I do have kids, is this the life that I really want to bring them into in terms of like what I have for myself and where I am mentally? There are big questions, and I need to make the effort to show up for myself so that I can start answering them. And that brings me to my second last point, which is I want to start seeing growth. Life is full of, you have growing periods and then stagnant periods, and then, for example, hermit periods. And I understand that life does this, but I have been stagnant for too long. There was a little bit of growth last year, which I'm very grateful for. Last year was a huge highlight for me, but I've not only gone stagnant, I've sort of dealt with a lot of dead ends, and it's been very stressful, and I'm just tired of just surviving, you know. And I need to reconnect with my mental resilience to deal with things better. So I really want to focus on growth, and I need to push myself and take videos and sort of document these things for myself. And hopefully someone else connects with that on here. That'd be great. I mean, that'd be great if anyone is actually watching this and you feel the same. Please let me know, because I do feel very alone in many ways, and connecting with someone would make my day. Anyway, bringing myself to my last point is that I have lost my purpose, and I don't know how to continue living without having meaning in my life. Some people have religion, some people have kids, and I have neither. I don't know. I wouldn't use the big S word. That's maybe a little bit too strong, but I do feel like I have no meaning. I always thought that teaching, and I use the word facilitating, because to facilitate knowledge is not so much to teach someone something, it's more like to pass on some, tidbit of information that you have that someone else could take into their own being. And so facilitating and teaching have been two huge motivating factors for me for many years. But now, at the moment, it's just not feeling like enough. I need to put that on the back pedal and really just, I think, find my passion again. Um, I'm just, it's, thank God that it's spring now coming into Spain. Because I've been feeling like it's been very dark, and just I need some spring in my life. I hope you know. you know. So I started with a quote, and I actually quite like the idea of that. So as often as I can, I'm going to start with a quote. And today's quote is that Arthur Ashe quote: "Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can." And I'm starting where I am, which is in my office. Use what I have, which is my phone, and I bought myself this microphone to force myself to do this properly, and do what you can. I'm going to learn how to take YouTube a little bit more seriously, find my voice, put out a message, and just do what I can to push myself out of the space that I am. Focus on being intentional, be intentional, Aurelia. And maybe you can see that I'm the same in other aspects on my TikTok and my Instagram as well, intentional being, and just connect with people. So, to finish today's video, the second video I've ever done for myself, that is not included for work, where I sort of just like hide away from myself and the world. To end off, I have a journal prompt, a writing prompt, which for me is so important because journaling is my saving grace. Today's question connects to the quote, and there are two questions. I'll put them in the description. Question number one is: what do I need to do in order to become who I want to be? Pretty deep. Take your time answering that one. I'm going to do it now for myself as well. I'll repeat. What do I need to do in order to become who I want to be? And there's a follow-up question to that, which is very exciting because it makes it more tangible, is what can I do about it today? So I'll leave you there. Enjoy yourself whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, and hopefully I'll chat to you soon.